Good Metal Reviews.
Keith!
Yo!
Infamous First Light.
No.
We have a review of it. That's
do?
what you fucking clicked on.
I did?
Infamous First Light is kind of an expansion DLC with story to Infamous Second Son. It's for the PlayStation 4. And basically you play as Fetch. Fetch was a pivotal character.
Fetch Abigail Walker.
Yeah, she was a pivotal character in Infamous Second Son. So you learn more about her, learn more about her backstory. And so yeah, you get to play as her in this DLC.
Yeah.
Tell me. Speak the truth.
I'll make your peace some other way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I never knew.
I believe that you're trusting me.
Oh, speak to me.
What fucking song is that?
Godsmack.
Oh, right. Okay, now I recognize it.
Yeah, you're fake.
A fake? Fuck you. Alright. Infamous First Light. The story's okay. That's my opinion of it. Because if you played the Second Son, and if you haven't played Second Son and you're playing First Light, I don't know what you're doing. Or at least without planning on playing Second Son, I don't know what you're doing.
Is there a First Son?
No, there's a Second
Light?
Son. No. But, because, you find out Fetch's backstory in the game through these, like, flashback, go inside your mind moments, and it's like... So you kind of know how it ends in a way, and not how her backstory ends. So it's just like so it didn't leave much up to the imagination of where the story goes necessarily. But then other than that, I mean, it was cool. Fetch is probably my favorite out of all the other conduits they show off in Second Son. Eugene, he was okay. I didn't think he had too much of like a good story build up. Hank was an asshole, so I don't want to see Hank again. Mm-hmm. But like Fetch had like a cool story, and I really liked Fetch, so I thought it was just appropriate that they had her in the game. Yeah, and then I'll let you get your piece about the story before I go into gameplay.
I think the story, it was good. And I say that it's good. At first I was like, this story kind of isn't really doing it for me. And I think that's just because the beginning is really slow. And also in the beginning they have you kind of do these really by-the-books escort missions, which really weren't that fun to me. And so I was just like, this is just kind of meh. But I'd say about halfway through, shit got serious, and it was really good. And not spoiling anything, I feel the ending of this is better than the ending in Second Son.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's so much more satisfying.
Yeah, and it's definitely awesome to just see Fetch's backstory and how things occurred and all that stuff. So I think the story was good, and I think it definitely salvaged itself to where I'm like, this is interesting. However, the story, you can blow through this story in 2.5 hours.
My only major pet peeve of the story is when the thing towards the end with Brent, which, I mean, if you haven't played Second Son and you're playing this again, I don't understand what you're doing, but I'm not going to spoil it. Like I felt like that could have been bigger. I felt like that was kind of just kind of thrown underneath the rug, and I was like, that should have been a big moment. That's a big moment for Fetch. So I was like, all right, whatever. But other than that, yeah, it's a pretty good story.
It is a good story. I also think characters are good too. Augustine is just such a good character.
Oh yeah,
and such a good villain and everything. I love how she just kind of pries at Fetch's mind and to get things out of her, and it's just so awesome. I really love how they brought Augustine back. Mm-hmm. And Shane, he's an okay character. He's kind of a douchebag, and he looks exactly like Reggie. If you've played Infamous Second Son, just with like, it's Reggie in like the 80s, you know. So, but it's not Reggie. Don't worry, it's not Reggie.
It's not Reggie.
It's a totally different guy. It just looks like him.
I feel like Brent could have been a cool character, but you don't see him too much. And then what was the chick's name?
I don't know. She was just there and gone.
I thought like that was a cool part, her section of the story, but I mean, other than that, like yeah, she was just kind of there and gone.
Yeah. What do you think of gameplay?
Gameplay, I mean, if you're going you only have one power in this game. That's neon power. So a lot of people might be like, is gay. I can't use smoke or video. It's gay. I'm stuck to neon. But honestly, at least in Second Son, neon was probably my most used and favorite power. There's only a couple things that I wish neon had, which they fixed in this game. They gave Fetch an air dash. They gave her a nice triangle. Immediate takedown ability, and then I think her R1 thing is different. Her R1 thing's different than Delsin's. It's a little bit more like the video power one a bit. And then they gave her a new Karmaic streak, the Singularity, which is awesome. It just looks visually impressive. And so, and then I mean they have a lot of, there's some stuff to do around. I mean, you only get to play in half of Seattle, and basically your extra outside of the open world activities are collecting neon shards, doing races, doing a couple neon tags where you're, instead of like holding the controller up sideways, you have to aim the controller, and like actually moving it up and physically moving the controller up or down, left, right, and whatnot. And then there's hostages and drive-by shootings, but then honestly, other than that, not much else in terms of stuff to do in the open world of this game.
Yeah, I know that this is kind of a little expansion to Infamous Second Son, but that's probably the biggest gripe that I had about Infamous Second Son is like once you do it, it's done. I mean, there's not much to really keep you going in the game world repeatedly. Just keep going and going and going. That's the same with this DLC. Getting all the Lumen shards. The Lumen races are awesome. They're very fun. The police drones are a fucking joke.
Oh, I forgot about the police drones.
And I thought there was one more thing. So there's not a whole lot to do. And you get about half of Seattle to fuck around in and explore. But, if you played Infamous Second Son, you're like, I've already been here. I know this place. So there's not much new to see. Gameplay-wise, Fetch it's really nice. I really like her, Karma Streak, I guess. Singularity, which just kind of brings everybody into a giant ball and then blows them the fuck up. It's pretty neat. It's pretty satisfying as well. I like the added dash ability. I think that really, really helps. I like also placed around Seattle when you're running are these little like loops that you can go through and it's give you like a speed boost almost.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat as well. So gameplay wise though, there's not too much different. It does kind of suck that you don't have that choice there of, which power do I go with type of thing. But then again, that's not too big of a deal to me because I knew this was just going to be Fetch, and Fetch is only neon stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's cool. Gameplay's fun. There's also added game modes, which is basically a challenge arena. And in this challenge arena, you can do kind of just a survival thing where you have this big area that you can kind of dick around in and, just kill DUP, fight demons, a whole bunch of stuff. So you can do survivals, you can do rescues, which is basically the same thing, except now you have to rescue hostages. And you can also play as Delsin, which is neat too. And there's a lot of challenges to do in this game, There's a lot of variety to them. Some of them are really fucking hard. So
I think the hardest one is in rescue. Rescue 4 survivors in a row without having any of them lose health.
Yeah.
Like, that's hard. I think I got 3, and then the 4th one got hurt. I got pissed off, but, like... Yeah, and I also like how when you get skills, the skills are a lot more fleshed out, I feel, skill tree-wise, since there's less of them.
I agree.
But then also, like, there's not enough neon shards floating around the city to do it. Like you actually have to do challenges in order to get.
Which is nice.
It's nice.
You
I
know,
mean,
it's
so-
an incentive.
and especially since there's only a couple really hard ones. A lot, most of them are, at least like a grindy ones. Like hack 10 turrets.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, that just takes time to do. It's like all right, cool, got it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Challenges are fun. I love the combat arena. It's pretty cool. There's not too much else to say about that. I mean, it's fun. It adds a lot of replay value. That's the thing about this DLC. I do think you get a lot of bang for your buck. You get a pretty nice campaign that'll probably take you about 3 hours to get through, and probably even also that includes getting everything. Goddamn cricket. So, yeah, and then you have a ton of replay value with the challenge arena.
Yeah.
So.
I think this game does what it's supposed to really well, which is like it's a nice add-on or kind of add-on thing to Infamous Second Son. If you were like, oh, I didn't get enough out of Infamous Second Son, you can get this. You'll get the challenge thing, which is the thing you can only get the Delson. You can only play as Delson if you actually own Second Son.
Yeah.
It's also cool to note that Delson in those things, it's not like tied to your save. It automatically gives Delson all his powers if you pick evil or good Karma Delson. You automatically get every ability and everything, so I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then also it could be like, here, this is like a taste of what you can do in Second Son if you bought First Light first. Because you were like, oh, I don't know about Second Son, I'll buy this, it's only $15, and if I like it, I'll buy Second Son.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice intro, so this works both very, very well.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. So, anything left?
I mean, we mentioned that this is a standalone DLC.
Yeah, so you don't need Infamous Second Son to play this game. You can just buy it. It's $15.
It'll mean a lot more if you've played Second Son, but
Exactly.
you don't have to.
Yeah. So, yeah. What'd you give this?
I'd give this. Let me think. I'd give this like an 8 out of 10. It's good. It's a good story. It's good everything, but I don't know. It's just an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's why I was going to give it to an 8 out of 10. It's good. It's not the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts on Infamous Second Light. Or
First
Second Light. Oh my god.
Third
Jesus
Darkness.
Christ.
Infamous
First,
Third Darkness.
Infamous First Light. And see you around. Fuck you, Cricket!